Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to also share, like, and comment.
And I think that was the biggest problem that President Lungu had. President Lungu, again, you wonder, had he taken over from RB, for example, what kind of president would he have been?
Yeah.
You know, but he was taking over a party that was so thuggish. He was put in office by people who wanted to control him. And like Mwanawasa, he failed to resist. You know, like he failed to refuse that control. So his presidency was a 7-year unmitigated disaster, is my sense. Largely because he could not control the party, I think.
Okay.
You know, so President Lungu was presiding over people that did not respect him. You know,
why do you say that?
You know, you could get the sense. You know, I mean, like you are a spin doctor. You know, but even you knew when you're spinning President Lungu that you were lying. You know, so
let me. I don't defend myself.
No, let's move. Let's move
but
on.
Let me just say, because you wrote an article,
yes,
where you said the Emmanuel Mwamba, as a spin doctor, is very smart. He took this humility. You were attacking ECL's humility as false humility. You know why the 2015 campaign was based on his humility? Like you were saying, when you meet, I don't know if you've met Edgar Lungu in person. That's the first thing you notice about him. He will open a door for you. He will serve you water. He will walk with you to the car. He will listen to you. The humility, whether politicians call it force outside, but it's the first thing you meet in that bar. So for me, I saw that as his biggest quality in 2014.
But who wants humility? You know, the truth is, in a president, whether he's humble or not is not important. Whether he's handsome or not is not important. Whether he's nice or not is not important. You want a president who is lawful, who is competent, because, you know, we don't, like you say, is he ever going to save us water?
Yeah.
No. You see, he can't save 20 million Zambians water. So that's not a good thing. But what I'm saying, though, let's go back to the point, is that you got the sense that nobody really... Stephen Kampiongo thought he was a president. Each commander in the
Defense Forces.
No, our army. No,
or the commanders, the party cadres.
Yes, you know, Each commander was a president. The youth leader, what was the last youth?
Kelvin Sampa? Or...
No, before him. The one was more well known.
What was...
was he not your leader? What's his name? Yes.
Okay, we'll go along with remember.
Yes. Thought he was a president. So many people were lining up to try and take over. I think the only person
you are saying you in the PF you felt that exercising presidential powers.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Too many people. You know, like, there are things that happened that I think President Lungu probably didn't know.
Yeah, true. That happens to all presidents.
No, but there are certain things people should be scared to do.
Yeah.
Because if the president hears, your head is on the block. President Lungu, people could have died. You know, people would have been killed without him knowing. It should never happen. A proper dictator should know who has been killed. In his name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
President Lungu, it came to a point where, like I say, instructions were being given. If when we were getting arrested, I don't even know that President Lungu knew. You know that kind of thing. He probably found out later on.
Yeah.
And then this thing has blown up.
I remember you staged a protest at Parliament where the 6 of you were arrested with one of your activists and friends and may so rest in eternal peace. I will remember that in 2018.
Yes. You know, stuff like that. There was no reason for that. It made, and I think the beginning of the end for Lungu was 42.
That campaign you raised.
But that was going nowhere had he not arrested us. Do you know that?
Yeah.
It was just going to end up in a parliament. You know, people making noise. The crowd was so small because people were scared.
Yeah.
It was the fact that we were arrested that blew it up. So when it comes to President Lungu, these are the things that I found a problem with him. That he is a nice person, I believe.
Yeah.
I think you know, he comes across as someone, people say you hate him. You know, President Lungu is that uncle you can't hate.
Yeah.
You know, you might find him irritating, you might find him this, but you can't hate. But extremely incompetent. You know, like, he could not run the country. Okay? So, like we saw just now when you asked him about debt, he was unable to speak to anything technical. You know, when President Lungu came into office, initially, I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Okay? So I gave him a thing of the doubt, you know, benefit of the doubt, the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I just thought, well, I mean, I didn't like winter, so I don't go with
Lungu.
So I mean, like, as in, I didn't like Winter's politics. I liked the guy, you know, very charismatic. But in terms of his politics,
what scares you about people like Winter?
Winter would be a dictator. Winter used to close shops when he was, you know, like the way he would become super president when he acted was scary. You know, the people you can tell they wear their power too closely to them.
Yeah.
But Winter is a smart guy, you know, and we've had really extremely intelligent conversations. In fact, most of the people I criticize.
Yeah, of course.
My friends.
I
think people wonder, you know, like, you know, they find me sitting, having coffee with someone, like, this is my mate, you know. But yes, I was saying that when the President Lungu first came on the scene, I thought it'd be okay. Two things made me write him off. One was Sata's funeral. That fake wail he gave. You know, that when he cried.
He cried genuinely.
No.
You thought it was made up.
You know, and I was sitting there like, how can an adult man do this? You know. So at that point, I just thought, if you can fake wail, you're fake. So that one for me really bothered me. Next, he was interviewed by Luchi.
Yeah.
And he was asked, what is your plan for University of Zambia, I think? And his answer was, not my problem. I'll have ministers. But, you know, kind of thing. You can't say it's not your problem. So all his interviews, and after that, they stopped him getting interviewed. You could tell. So until President Lungu finished his term.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to Jake.
If he wasn't reading a script, I do not know even to this day, I do not know what he thinks about education. I don't know what he thinks about the mines. I don't know what he thinks about rule of law. I don't know what he thinks about anything.
Yeah.
He just was technically very weak. But if he had done what Rupia had done, he are technically weak, but you gather around you the best possible minds, okay? And then control your cadres. He would still be president right now. So you don't have to be massively competent yourself. You just need to get the right people around you who actually respect you.
Yeah.
So with President Lungu, I think that President Lungu's presidency was an unmitigated disaster. Let me tell you the reason. It is because he destroyed two things. In fact, the one thing that he destroyed that nobody has the right to is the psyche of the people. As a people now, we are more crooked than we were before PF came to power. We're just crooked. We are corrupt. We have a generation of young people who genuinely believe that you can't get a job unless you know someone. But not because of unemployment, but you know the whole thing of giving jobs to cadres and that kind of thing. But even worse, between President Lungu and the Papas, they convinced Zambians that it is both to just happen. To
be created.
Yes, that I can be sitting here today, tomorrow you see me with a Jaguar and 3 houses, and it's okay. Thank God. You know, that kind of thing. So it is going to take us a long time to undo that damage, and that is, nobody has the right to do that. Thing. And then, of course, there was the politics, the whole Bhutan, and just his...
Speak briefly about Bhutan before we go to President Hakainde Hichilema. You became the leading voice on Bhutan. I had one of the people that was an architect and pushed the idea, Jackson Slav, was here just the other day, and he spoke to the sincerity of the work that they were doing. They invited the opposition to Siavonga. In fact, the first paper to push for what now became Dialogue, then became Bhutan, was written by the current Minister of Justice and his other colleagues from UPND. Where did you see the danger? Why did you think it would benefit President Lungu?
First of all, even before Bill 10 came, remember that there was that audio in which former Justice Minister Given Luwinda was talking about getting rid of opposition leaders from parliament so that they can pass the constitution. You knew that PF, President Lungu was scared of a fair election. I don't know why, but President Lungu comes across to be like he doesn't believe in fair elections. Like he's one of those people who, even if you tell him you're going to win, like love potion. Those women where even if the husband is good, he's loyal. So that's how President Lungu comes across. Like he just doesn't believe in straight. But with Bill 10, you could see from far that this thing, dialogue, refuse dialogue, then create this dialogue. You don't produce a report. You just say, they've said, we've agreed to this thing. Then Bill 10 itself comes out. Bill 10, when it came out at night. It was published at night. I sat up to read it.
Yeah.
Objective mind. Even if I don't believe, I tend to go to things with an objective mind. So, like I did with the ATI, for example. I went to the ATA with an objective mind, kind of thinking, can they really give us a good one? But let's see. So we go to the Bill 10. I questioned myself, is it because I'm not a lawyer? Because this thing is problematic. I couldn't sleep that night. I did not believe people could put so much evil into a document. So, Bill 10 was written. There were fundamental clauses that were so undemocratic. I could not believe that they were going to be put in. And it was very clear to me that I don't know whether President Lungu told Given to do it or Given chose himself to do it. But that document he produced was shocking. So I'll give you a few examples. One of the first things that struck me was the issue of Parliament.
Yeah.
So Parliament is a creature of the Constitution, isn't it? It is meant to be fully created by the Constitution.
Yeah.
Bill 10 removed the power of the Constitution to create Parliament. It says there will be a Parliament, essentially, which will be decided by subsidiary law. Subsidiary law is passed by Parliament. So essentially, you are telling Parliament to create itself. It's God telling you that, Lord, how do you want to look? What I be standing? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Obviously. So when you look at that clause, it was going to pass before elections. Parliament had the right to increase numbers as it wanted.
Oh, I see. You thought when this passes, then Parliament was going to have leeway and freedom then to change and amend whatever they could.
It could. Essentially, if you say it be subsidiary law, it could go from 156 to 300 and make the next 100 all in the eastern and northern province. Just that was enough to make the election academic.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And then, if you could decide how by-elections will be held, essentially you are saying Parliament should create itself. Then there was the collision clause. The collision clause that says the winner who doesn't get 50 plus 1 can make a collision with any other party that stood. What that means is that PF did not need to rig for itself. It would rig for a small party. Okay? So it was obvious PF was going to get...
If, for example, they get 45.
Yes.
Then they'll get someone who has done 10% or
exactly.
6%.
So what they'll do is they get 45 deliberately. Then rig for some no-name at the back there and give them 80%. Very clever.
So there were clauses that alarmed you.
Yes. So overall, like I said to people, and then they start saying to us, it's about the disabled. Really insulting to the disabled. Because that's what the PF kept saying. It's for the disabled, for women, for inclusion. It was not about inclusion. And that was, I think, very, should I say, malicious, using poor people to push that.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.